Imagine stepping into a room that quite literally glows. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the ultimate historical heist, a mystery that has completely baffled historians, treasure hunters, and governments for decades. We're looking at the story of a masterpiece so spectacular, so incredibly unique, that its disappearance remains one of the most captivating unsolved puzzles of the modern era. People have literally called it history's greatest missing treasure. And honestly, that is not hyperbole. We're talking about a space valued as one of the most exquisite creations ever produced by human hands. It was a legendary masterpiece, the ultimate symbol of royal power and just immense wealth. To really grasp the high stakes of this mystery right out of the gate, we have to understand just how incredibly valuable and unique this room truly was before it just vanished into thin air.
So, to put this into perspective, the sheer scale of this is absolutely staggering. 6 tons. That is over 12,000 pounds of rare Baltic amber. Now, if you know amber, you know it's fossilized tree resin, famous for its warm luminescence. And in this case, it was backed by brilliant gold leaf. What's absolutely wild here is that amber is incredibly fragile, right? It's notoriously difficult to carve without it just shattering into a million pieces. Yet they took 6 tons of this precious glowing material and painstakingly shaped it to cover the walls of an entire room. It wasn't just a room, it was like stepping inside a massive glowing jewel box.
Part 1, the Eighth Wonder. This whole colossal undertaking kicked off in early 18th century Prussia under King Frederick I. Designed by the architect Andreas Schluter, this project was monumental. Skilled artisans spent years painstakingly transforming raw amber and brilliant gold into these incredibly intricate panels. When it was finally complete, it was a masterpiece of design unlike anything the world had ever seen. Every single panel, every tiny carving, was just a labor of intense, meticulous dedication. The reaction to this room was so overwhelming, it actually earned a legendary nickname, the Eighth Wonder of the World. Why? Because it literally left visitors utterly speechless. Seriously, when diplomats, royals, and dignitaries stepped into the glow of the amber room, they were entirely paralyzed by its beauty. The way the candlelight danced off the gold and that warm, radiant amber, it created an atmosphere that felt almost otherworldly. Part 2, a priceless royal gift. Let's trace its journey because it's a wild ride. We start in the early 1700s in Prussia, right? But then comes a major milestone, 1716. The room was presented to Tsar Peter the Great as this priceless diplomatic gift, a really profound symbol of alliance and friendship between Prussia and Russia. But if you follow the timeline forward to 1941, you hit a very dark turn when it was looted during World War II, which ultimately leads us to its current agonizing status, missing. After being gifted in 1716, you have to imagine the logistics of this. This colossal masterpiece was packed into dozens of heavy crates and hauled all the way to Russia, eventually finding a permanent home inside the magnificent Catherine Palace. It became the absolute crown jewel of the Russian Empire, a glowing testament to their imperial wealth and, without a doubt, one of Europe's most famous royal treasures. Part 3, stolen by war. Then the war comes. As German forces rapidly advanced into Russian territory during World War II, a frantic effort began. The palace was evacuated, and those priceless amber panels were hastily removed from the walls and packed back into heavy crates. German forces seized it and transported the entire room to the city of Königsberg, where it was unpacked and displayed one last time. And that, tragically, was the last confirmed place the amber room was ever seen. So, where did it go? After that final display in Königsberg, the trail suddenly and completely ends. It just vanished. How does a massive 6-ton room of glowing amber and gold simply disappear from the face of the earth? Well, from that moment in Königsberg onward, the original amber room was never seen again. Part 4, 3 prevailing theories. Today, investigators are generally split into 3 main camps. First, there's the theory that it was simply destroyed in the absolute chaos of the war. Though, it's worth noting, there's no definitive proof of its destruction. Second, we have the hidden underground theory. This suggests those massive crates are still sitting in forgotten bunkers or abandoned mines somewhere in Europe. And finally, the third theory argues it was lost at sea on a sunken wartime ship. Yet despite years of deep-sea searches, no shipwreck has ever provided any conclusive evidence. It's an incredibly frustrating reality that constantly balances on a razor's edge. On one side, fresh clues unearthed from archival records constantly spark hope and raise entirely new questions. But on the other side, we still have absolutely zero definitive proof of the room's location. The clues just keep coming, but none have actually revealed the amber room itself.
Part 5. The Endless Search. So where does that leave us? We're talking about decades of relentless global investigation. Teams have scoured ancient castles and navigated hidden tunnels, and now they're using ground-penetrating radar and modern tech to fuel expeditions underwater and underground like never before. And while we search, a stunning, meticulous reconstruction of the Amber Room actually exists today. It allows visitors to step inside and experience the legend, even though the original masterpiece has never been recovered.
Consider this thought. Perhaps the greatest treasure isn't the Amber Room itself, but the mystery it left behind. The room might be hidden away in a mine somewhere, sitting at the bottom of the freezing ocean, or totally lost to the fires of war. But its story? That has achieved true immortality. It continues to inspire historians, treasure hunters, and dreamers all around the world.
So, I want to turn this over to you. We've looked at the history, the incredible value, the dramatic theft, and the main theories. What do you think really happened to the Amber Room? Is it destroyed, hidden underground, or lost at sea? Perhaps it's still out there right now, just waiting for the right person to finally piece the clues together and find it. Until that day comes, the Amber Room will remain history's greatest missing treasure. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the mysteries of our past.